Next up to the podium, I want to introduce a gentleman who also played a critical role in making this great fight happen. None other than the Executive Vice President and General Manager of Showtime Sports, Stephen Espinosa.
When Floyd Mayweather signed his historic deal with Showtime and CBS 2 years ago, he promised us two things. Number one, he'd be fighting more often. And number two, he put the 6 fights under his deal would be the biggest events possible against the best opponents possible. Many people honestly were skeptical, but fast forward 2 years, as we all gather here today, and Floyd has kept every word of his promises. And now, for the second time in just 5 fights at Showtime, Floyd is fighting an opponent that many people thought he'd never fight. Showtime pay-per-view and Floyd set the pay-per-view record with the first event back in September 2013, and we look forward to another record-breaking performance on May 2nd. Showtime's been involved in some of the biggest pay-per-view events in history, including Lewis Tyson in 2002, and of course the all-time record, Mayweather-Canelo in 2013. But none of those events have generated the type of excitement, anticipation, and media attention that matches the hysteria that this fight has already generated. And that's one of the reasons why all of us at Showtime and CBS are so excited and so proud to be helping bring this fight together. Excited, proud, thrilled. There are countless adjectives to describe our feelings about this event. But surprise is not one of them. No, we're not at all surprised this fight was made. As soon as we closed our deal with Floyd back in 2013, the Pacquiao fight was a top priority, both for Floyd and for us. Not everyone was aware because we didn't talk about it much, but whenever we got to discuss a Mayweather opponent, Manny Pacquiao was always in high on Floyd's list. And again, that was no surprise for us. We've known for at least 5 years that Floyd has wanted the Pacquiao fight very badly. Back in 2009, I was personally involved the first time the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight was negotiated. Not only drafted the deal between the parties, but also the infamous drug testing that was ultimately the reason why the fight didn't happen. So now here we are 5 years later with potentially the biggest and most lucrative combat sports event the world has ever seen. And so with the support of our senior executives, Matt Blank, David Evans, Sean McManus, and David Burson, and of course Leslie Moonves, who was the catalyst for this deal, the difference maker in terms of getting this fight done after so many failed attempts in the past. As a CEO and as a longtime boxing fan, Leslie was, as the letter said, the driving force behind the deal and a primary reason why this fight was made. We will be using the vast reach of the CBS Corporation, CBS Television Network, CBS Sports Network, Showtime, CBS Radio, CBS Interactive, to name a few, in unprecedented ways to magnify the scope and stature of this event. All of us at Showtime and CBS are proud to be bringing this event together. We're thrilled to add this event to the list of world-class sporting events brought to you by the CBS Corporation. The NCAA Men's Basketball Championship, the Masters, SEC football, NFL football on Sundays and Thursdays, Super Bowl 50, and now add to that list, Mayweather versus Pacquiao May 2nd. We know that Floyd is the consensus #1 fighter in the sport. We know that Floyd is the most talked about athlete in all of sports. We know Floyd is by far the #1 pay-per-view draw in the sport. And together with Floyd, Showtime pay-per-view has become the #1 pay-per-view distributor in the sport as well. And now together with everyone up on the skaters and everyone working behind the scenes, we look forward to breaking more records and making more history on May 2nd. Thank you.
Well, Steve and everybody has their own opinions. This is me, right? I'd like to introduce the gentleman who is sitting up here with a lot of Manny's team. First, his advisor, Michael Kahn. Michael? And seven-time Boxing Writers Association Trainer of the Year, a legend in the sport. He crosses swords on May 2nd with another legendary trainer, my good friend Floyd Mayweather Sr. Freddie Roach is an inspiration to all of us. We love Freddie dearly. And for me personally, it's a privilege to be working with him. Please welcome the trainer of Manny Pacquiao, Freddie Roach.
It's just, I really like to thank all the people that made this fight happen. I love challenges. This is the biggest challenge of my life. It's finally here. It's finally coming. I've been looking forward to this for a long, long time. I'm going to be a fighter as ready as possible. We are at the toughest fight of our life. We're fighting the best fighter in the world. And we're going to keep his ass. I'm sorry.
Come May 2nd, it will be no different. He's the current WBC welterweight and super welterweight champion. He's the WBA unified welterweight champion, and he's also the WBA super champion in the super welterweight division. He's averaged over 1 million pay-per-view homes every time he fights, which is the highest average ever in the history of the sport. He's been named the world's highest paid athlete by Forbes magazine, ESPN the magazine, and Sports Illustrated, which is truly a testament to his great popularity around the world. On May 2nd, he faces another great challenge in front of him, and fellow world champion Manny Pacquiao. This will be a fight the whole world has been waiting to see for quite some time. Once again, Floyd is out to only prove to the critics why he's been the best fighter, not only of his era, but many other eras. He will go out on May the 2nd, and he will show you why he's been the best, and they call him the best. And they call him the best because he goes out there and proves it every fight. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the pound for pound best fighter on this planet, none other than Floyd Money Mayweather.
First of all, I have to thank my father. Unbelievable trainer, unbelievable person. You know, showed something. So many different social media outlets, the fans, Team Pacquiao, top rank. It's been a long road, but we're here now. Al Haymon, remarkable guy. You know, if it wasn't for Al Haymon, my father, Leonard, and my team, I believe we were in that today. So I want to say thank you. May 2nd, the fight of the century. It's all about the best, fighting the best. And Pacquiao is one of the best fighters of this era. And everything's about time. I think we couldn't shoot a better time. You know, our game plan is just to work and take one fight at a time. Like all 47 fights. The world champions. It's an unbelievable matchup. action-packed fight. I'm right now, dedicating myself to sports, pushing myself to the limit. Because I never want to fight so bad. And I'm pretty sure he's going to push himself to the limit. Because he wants to win just as bad as I want.
Let me see here, make sure I'm doing it right. I really never thought that he just didn't seem confident. He didn't seem confident. But we're going to talk about all that right now. It's March the, what time is it? 1:53 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, March the 16th, 2015. I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live, and I cover every single major fight live. So what we're going to talk about, Sergey Kovalev stopping Jean Pascal, Andre Berto stopping Josesito Lopez, what was going on with Sean Porter, Kareem Mayfield, what was going on with the Steve Cunningham fight. We're going to talk about the Mayweather-Pacquiao press conference. We're going to talk about, of course, the channel, and basically all the topics in boxing right now. Golovkin versus Willie Monroe Jr. I am T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live of RealCombatMedia.com, and I cover every single major fight live. So what I'm doing is I am sending Google Hangout Google Hangout invites right now, and we're gonna get the Mayweather-Pacquiao, but let's get the fight of the night out of the way. Let's talk about Sergey Kovalev, who's now 27-0-1 with 25 KOs. He defeated Jean Pascal, 8th round TKO stoppage, and I am all for the stoppage. Jean Pascal was talking heavy Rocky Balboa terminology. For example, on his shorts, Black Boa. He came out to a song called Final Fight. Very, very good theme from the Rocky IV soundtrack. On the media call that I was on 2 weeks ago, he was talking about Sergey Kovalev killing someone in the ring, which he really has, and also being Ivan Drago. Now, when you look at the 8th round stoppage, and I forgot the referee's name, when you look at the view that the referee had, if he would not have stopped the fight, then we would have had Jean Pascal Apollo Creed status. You get me? So he says, he still knew what was going on and everything, but truth be told, we don't know what Jean Pascal, what round was that when he got hurt? I forgot what round that was, and he went down through the ropes. But anyway, after that, he did fight with great heart, but there was really, in my opinion, no real technique behind it. And from my understanding, from what I saw, you can tell he felt Sergey Kovalev's power. You can tell he felt Sergey Kovalev's power. Why? Is because did you notice that he was on the back foot a lot, and also he was relying heavily on that straight right, and that right was crazy because remember the one time where he deflected it, with his elbow, and then hit Kovalev. But I look at it like this: Kovalev is a lot better of a fighter than I gave him credit for in the past, because he can do so much. He can box, he can move, he has the conditioning, he has the stamina, but has he answered enough questions for fans yet? And in my opinion, he has. Now, when you look at the 175-pound division, he really has no rivals. And outside of Adonis Stevenson, who fans understand Najib Mohammedi, you probably don't know too much about him. I have to do a video on him soon. Of course, you're going to be throwing up the name Artur Beterbiev. But if we're talking about like who's on the level right now, Bernard Hopkins was right. We only want to see Sergey Kovalev versus Adonis Stevenson. Also, if you don't know, Adonis Stevenson was there in the Bell Center tonight. Now, because of network reasons and management and promotional reasons, he couldn't get on the microphone and he couldn't get into the ring. Now, if you don't know, he's an Al Heyman, basically PBC or CBS guy. His next fight is going to be against Saki Obika on April the 4th, 2015, in the same arena, in the Bell Center. So it was only right for him to be there. He walked up to Bernard Hopkins. Bernard Hopkins was filling in for Roy Jones because Roy Jones was a co-trainer, assistant trainer for Jean Pascal. So it was Bernard Hopkins, Jim Lampley, and Max Kellerman calling the fight. Adonis Stevenson approached Bernard Hopkins at the end of the fight while Hopkins was at the announcer's table and basically telling Bernard Hopkins is that, yes, I want Sergey Kovalev. I want to go for the unification. And if you don't know, I think I already said it, he's going to be fighting Saki Obika. I'm going to show you some highlights to that a little bit later on. He's going to be fighting Saki Obika on April the 4th, and Saki Obika is a very live underdog. What the WBC did, the WBC made the winner of Kovalev versus Pascal the #1 contender for the Adonis Stevenson's title. So after Saki Obika, Adonis Stevenson has to fight Sergey Kovalev. There's nobody else. But also, here's something crazy. This may add to the drug testing controversy. If you don't know, we don't even know who handled the drug testing, but yesterday an article came out. I forgot where I read it. I don't know if it was on Boxing Scene or wherever, that Jean Pascal withdrew from the WBC title race. So basically, if he was to win all the titles tonight, he wouldn't have gone after the WBC title. He wouldn't have gone to unify the division. And if you don't know, the WBC is starting soon. I believe once that tournament starts, they got a welterweight tournament coming up. They're starting soon where all their fighters are going to have to use VADA to test 365 24/7. You know, all their champions. So
what about before you say that, Pascal, you know, it would have went to something like a purse bid, like the WBC champion would have got the most money since it was sanctioned by the WBC, right?
Yeah.
So if Pascal had 3 belts and he's just as big as draw as Adonis Stevenson, he probably withdrew from that because he's now the cash guy. Like, you know what I mean? He doesn't want to say you're going to get 60 because you have the WBC. But I do see your point, though, about Heredia not wanting to work with VADA. But
no, I get what you're saying because for one, yeah, you're right. It is Adonis Stevenson would get the big split, and also, it would be a bigger bargaining chip because Jean Pascal would have all the belts and Adonis Stevenson just that one. But still, with the Memo Heredia thing and then the VADA, it just looks a little suspect. It just looks a little suspect. That's all. Especially with WBC.
I don't think nobody think he's juicing after the night. Shit.
Nah. Well, his issue, Jean Pascal's issue is this. We know he could be a very highly skilled boxer. We know that he's intelligent. That awkwardness he has is something that's not in the light heavyweight division right now. So, which means he would give a lot of people problems. But conditioning, and it's conditioning. Like if he fought at the same pace the first round, for consistently for at least 5, 6, 7 rounds, in this fight, it looked like he was out of it in round 4. And what was keeping him going from then was just his heart. His heart, and the fact that, he didn't want to lose in front of the home crowd. Yeah. That's what was keeping him going. But he was done.
I couldn't believe he didn't work. I picked Pascal in this fight. People gonna come on here and blast me about that. I think Leonard gonna be the one to blast me about it. I picked Pascal, but to me, he actually showed he had the more skill. You just mentioned that, but he didn't have a jab behind it. He didn't get no respect. He didn't get no boxing ability behind it. No. I just couldn't get. I don't know why I thought a Roy Jones trained boxer would go out with a jab, but I did. So, it is what it is.
And that was one key thing that was missing. There was nothing behind. Okay, all right. The seldom times he did use the jab, we pretty much knew what was coming. But I'm trying to think. Basically, there was really no technique. Really, that's really what it was. There was really no technique to what he was trying to do. Whereas you seen Kovalev, he was using his jab to get closer. And Kovalev, I learned over the last 2 fights, has a very dominant jab. It's efficient. it's effective, and it leads, you know, for that straight right that he has, that he always throws. And not to mention his jabs upstairs and downstairs do significant damage. Now we knew he had big jabs because, you know, he knocked out Blake Capriello with the jab, but now we see that not only can it be a power punch, but it's also, you know, very dangerous to set up other things. And I was very also impressed with the chin, you know, of Sergey Kovalev, because he took some, you know, when it came to those counter punches, he took some mean counter punches, because you'll see Jean Pascal.
I didn't like the way he took them to the body. I don't like the way he took the shots to the body. I thought he was hurt to the body a few times, but he did take them upstairs well.
Well, who you talking about? You thought Pascal was hurt to the body, or
no, yeah, he was hurt everywhere, but I'm talking about Kovalev was also hurt to the body.
Did get punched in the stomach. He did get punched dead in the stomach. What round was that where he started to retreat?
Yeah. It was, hey, Pascal put up a fight. It's just I can't remember, but he put up a fight. But we hit the nail on the head. We said no technique. Only thing that he had technique on was rolling his shoulder, coming back with his own right hand.
Yeah.
But after that, I couldn't believe he didn't do nothing else. Like, man, this guy was in there fighting on pure heart, but he lost his composure along with the heart. And when your composure goes, your stamina gonna go. But hey, you know, he
always is, you know, and it's a common thing for him, and it seems as though it's getting worse as far as conditioning is concerned. Like, look what he did at the end of the bout fight. You know, like, people say he was showboating. Now, you know, I look at it like, well, like, he was gassed. He could barely lift up his arms to throw punches. So what did he do? He stood in the corner, started relying on his defense. He was trying to do this with a big power puncher, a guy who killed the man once in the ring. You're in the corner against this man trying to roll punches. Of course, the referee's going to stop the fight, you know. And then once I saw you saw Kovalev. If you watch the HBO replay in slow motion, it was as clear as day that Kovalev was going to kill him. I mean, in my opinion, because when he was in the corner, when Jean Pascal was in the corner, right, this is before the referee stopped it. The referee's sitting there looking at it like this. You see Kovalev looking him right in his eyes, lining up the right hand. The right hook, hit him, and then back up. Look at the referee, then go right back at Pascal again, hitting to the point where Pascal neck. I thought he was gonna break his neck off of a punch. So it's like this. I understand, you know, he wanted to be, you know, Black Rocky Balboa and everything like that, but it's like, listen, your daughter's right there. Don't die in front of your daughter.
I don't get the high guard defense. I don't get the high guard defense. If you're just gonna, this is a power, like you said, he's a killer in front of you. And you go to the high guard
defense, like, he's not gonna punch through that shit. Or punch around that shit. And the thing is, and look, and that's when I knew, like, Pascal was done, because at one point in time, did you notice that Kovalev just kept winding up the right hand? He just was just winding it up, and I'm thinking, like, yo, he's gonna knock him the fuck out. Like, at that point in time, I think he already knew, I took his best shots, he can't hurt me. I took his best shots. He can't hurt me.
Good point. Good point. I think what's his name? Pascal had the same mindset. He took my best shot. I'm ready to go. I'm not going. That's what I think he had. He was thinking one shot. He got that one shot, and now he was ready to go. Like, I just don't understand where your composure goes. He rolled shots beautifully when he wanted to. He even got credit from Bernard Hopkins from rolling the shots. I'm sitting here cheering for him like, I picked you. I knew I did it for a reason. I didn't do it stupidly. But this guy sit here and just let it go down the drain because he got back in the high guard defense. I don't know if it was because of stamina issues or it was because he was ready to go. But
nah, it was stamina. It was stamina.
Crazy.
He had nothing else to do. He had nothing else to do.
I think both guys. I think Pascal might have been all the way gassed, whereas Kovalev was headed towards gassing, and he said, "Nah, I'm gonna kill you first." And you know,
pretty much, because at one point in time, Kovalev started letting his hands go to the point where I'm thinking to myself, like, well, like I'm trying to find, like, there's weaknesses in Kovalev, but then when I match him up to the other light heavyweights, for example, the other champion in the division. Look at Adonis Stevenson. Adonis Stevenson only has, what, one punch, basically. You know, so You know,
He
and,
had
and
the
he
jab.
showed us that he has significant stamina issues as well. So when I look at Kovalev, I try to match him up to other fighters in the division. I think about, okay, well, I understand he does have some flaws, but as far as being able to beat all the guys in the division, he has it. You know, it's no more I can say, because, you know, seeing the fact that he can go the distance, even though he didn't go the distance, but see the fact that he boxed a guy, you know, and having Jean Pascal winning, I think a lot of people had Jean Pascal winning because Jean Pascal is a very skilled boxer who has gotten better over time. But seeing him defeat a guy by like Jean Pascal, it's like, yo, the guy's a total package right now.
Trust me, nobody had him winning. I was an outlier in this. Nobody that I talked to had him winning. And when you talk about Stevenson, I gotta ask myself, is he gonna work his jab as much as he normally does? He does have a right-handed jab.
He do got a lot of he do use the jab a lot.
Yeah, but see, but what Kovalev does is go backwards on the jab. But what is he going to, like, if he bringing that left hand? Stevenson is very active. Can Kovalev fight off the back foot? What we seen tonight, he wasn't countering. I haven't seen him counter nobody his whole career just about. And I want to see that. I want to see that.
Yeah, that's true. He's not but what it is what I've noticed is that that he hurts his opponents early, like, you know, to the point where their confidence goes. When it goes to Bernard, when you look at Bernard Hopkins, when you look at Jean Pascal, he hurt them both early to the point where that game plan or whatever game plan they thought they had went out the window.
Let me say,
Kenny do it with Donna Stevenson. You know, Kenny hurt Donna Stevenson to the point where Donna Stevenson, like, oh shit, he hit hard. Fuck all that bullshit I was gonna try before.
Let me say a name.
Let me change up my game plan.
Let me say a name. Andre Ward. If Ward takes that step up to 175, like they say he doesn't want to do, Ward establishes his jab early and often. That's what you got to do to offset getting hit so fast. You got to make it a thinking match for 3 or 4 rounds, and then, but you got to get some respect some way, somehow. Pascal just was all the way wrong. He was all the way wrong tonight, man. I was terrible on that pick, but he did give him his toughest fight. But I'm ready to see Ward Kovalev. I think that's a hell of a fight.
I think Kovalev is going to be too much for Andre Ward as far as power is concerned. You know, Andre Ward is a very smart fighter, and maybe it's because I haven't seen him against top competition since 2011. You know, and that but at this point in time, power wise, you know, it's certain things. Darnell Boone put Andre Ward down. And I understand, you know, that was a mistake on Andre Ward's part. Andre Ward, every now and then, if I'm correct, he likes to. Was that the fight? I believe. I know Andre Ward likes to switch to southpaw every now and then, and he doesn't look good when he does it. And then he's very open to take some shots during that period of time.
Wasn't that a big right hand? Wasn't that a big right hand to put him down?
Yeah, but for some reason, I understand that Andre Ward is going to try to tie up Kovalev. I understand Andre Ward is a younger, somewhat version of Bernard Hopkins a little bit, except Bernard Hopkins had power. I honestly, at this point in time, I really don't see Andre Ward winning. I don't.
I don't think he's nowhere near Hopkins. Hopkins has never flashed a jab that brilliant while moving.
No, never true. I'm talking about what I'm saying is as far as being a ring savvy type of a thinking man's fighter. You know, not necessarily skill. Skill-wise, Andre Ward is always, you know, he's much better. You know,
I'm going to go 64. If the fight happened tomorrow and it's announced or something, I would go 60-40 for Kovalev over Stevenson, because Stevenson hasn't been in the ring doing things we want to see him do. And if it's Ward, I would go 60-40 for Ward. I think Ward knows entirely too much. He's fought at 175 pounds before. He's seen big boys before. And I don't trust Kovalev going backwards, and Ward's going to make him go backwards. Ward's going to have a perfect plan. I don't think power alone is going to make him go in there and go gunshot early. He gets off and he gets started, he wins rounds, and he just cruises. And I think that's what happened. You cannot fight a power puncher and let him be the jabber. That was the dumbest thing I've seen since the motherfucker that was in the cage. That's all I gotta say about that one.
Yeah, he was. I mean, once Jean Pascal felt the power, he was pretty much done. Andre Ward versus Sergey Kovalev has a good chance of happening. I think it has a good chance of happening under Rock Nation than it did with Goose and Tudor Promotions. I think that Andre Ward has to realize that many fans feel he can win against Sergey Kovalev, and also Kovalev has all those titles, you know. So it's like, you know, it's getting really stupid for Andre Ward not to move up in weight.
You think he'll move up though? This word he's been saying in the past that he doesn't want to move up.
He continues to say, "I'm not a 100." A couple of months ago, actually, on the Rock Nation card, he continues to say he's not a 175-pound fighter. He continues to say it, and it's like, okay, all right, really? You're not going to fight at 170 or nothing? I understand how fans feel about catchweights, but it's like with Andre Ward, don't get me wrong, in my opinion, he gets a little bit of an exemption because right now, for example, we don't care who Andre Ward fights right now. We just want to see him in action. You know, now we know that he's going to have a big fight, you know, but for a tune-up, we just want to see him in action. But as far as not moving to 175, it's just like, okay, all right. When it comes to 168, yes, there's some new talent there for him to fight, but at the same time, it's like I'm looking at promotional shit and I'm thinking, okay, all right, well, Andre Ward versus Kovalev is a fight that can be easily made. It can be made. It can be made. You know, and not to mention, Andre Ward can win. I would have Kovalev winning, but Andre Ward can win, and he would be the favorite. And also, you would be fighting for basically all the titles: the WBA Super World, the WBO, the IBF, the WBC #1 contender, and that goddamn IBO belt. You know, so you know, I'm confused. Now, I can see when Kovalev only had one belt. But it's like, yo, Andre Ward in just one fight can move up and be the king of the 175-pound division, and still have and still be able to fight at 168 if he wants to, you know. And that's if he goes for a catch weight of 170. But here's the thing: Kovalev can't make 170 in my opinion.
No way.
You know, I mean, and they talked about it. Kovalev can't make it, so it would have to be at 175. Yeah. You know, and if Kovalev does go to 170, Kovalev's gonna be drained.
168 is deep.
The problem is this: I think Warren done fought everybody at 168, ain't he?
No. The Gale, both Durrells. No, he has not. And you always got Triple G who might move up. You got Chavez who might go to 160. The way he's talking, he has not fought everyone there, and there's fights there. So that's why I give him a pass.
It's new talent in the 168-pound division that wasn't there when Andre Ward was the king. So you know you have some fights there that can be big. You know, for example, after James DeGale versus Andre Durrell, you know, you can have Andre Ward versus one of them. Now, of course, I'm not including politics. I'm just talking about the division in a whole.
Yeah.
You got Andre Ward versus Anthony Durrell. You got Andre Ward versus Chavez Jr. You got Andre Ward versus maybe a Berto Biev, and he can fight at 168 pounds. You got Andre Ward versus maybe a David Lemieux, who can also fight at 168 pounds. You got Golovkin. So what I'm saying is, not saying that these guys are at 168 right now, but around that division, there's a lot of fights that Andre Ward can be fighting. You know, for example, Funfara. You know, the winner of Saki. Well, he fought Saki Obika already. But
shit, he hasn't even said when he's gonna fight or nothing, man. I mean, he's at quote unquote.
Well, he said he wanted to fight. He said he wanted to fight in April. That's what he said last. He wanted to fight in April. We know April's next month, so that's not happening. So I'm thinking that maybe he's going to return in late May or in June. Now, could he be fighting on the undercard, you know, of a Miguel Cotto fight? It's Rock Nation card.
Yes,
he could. Yes, he could. But also, I've been hearing, you know, and I'm just throwing it out there. Just don't shoot the messenger. I have been hearing Cotto versus Ward at a catchweight, but there's so many reasons why I don't think that would happen. Because one, signing Cotto to a massive contract like that, then putting him in a very dangerous fight in which he will lose.
Yes.
You know, it doesn't make, you know, smart business sense.
So we agree that 168 is the better business move because nobody's at 175 except for Kovalev. And
175 he'll be appeasing the fans, and also he'll be a unified world champion.
yeah, but
168 better money, and business at 168
but
pounds as far as
ask yourself at 175 he gets that one big win, and we as fans, not just us but everybody, we say, okay, now what you gonna do next? What you gonna do next?
yeah, well, now he not fighting GGG. I understand all that. So right now, I'm cool with him fighting at 168 pounds. But at the same time, put it this way, I'm cool with him fighting at 168 pounds if Al Heyman and Rock Nation can get on the business working relationship.
There you go. That's it right there.
So if they get on a business working relationship, then I'm cool because we know fights can be made. We know so many different fights that can be made. But if they're not on a working business relationship, then it's either going to have to be Gilberto Ramirez, Gennady Golovkin, Sergey Kovalev. Somewhere, and I'm talking about as far as big fights for him at 168 pounds.
David Lemieux.
175. Because really, Al Heyman has all the fighters that we would want Andre Ward to fight. And also, Andre Ward versus Carl Froch 2 can be a good fight. And it can sell, but will Andre Ward go over to the UK?
No, I don't think he would. Change his shit. What?
I don't think he would. I would even, honestly, I would even like to see Andre Ward versus George Groves. I would love to see that. So it all depends on what kind of fan you are and what it is exactly that you're looking for. But enough about Kovalev and Andre Ward. Now Steve Cunningham. You know who Steve Cunningham is. Steve Cunningham is a former cruiserweight champion.
Man, I thought he won that fight, bro.
A fighter that fights at no more than I would say about 216 or so. I believe is the highest he's been. This Vyacheslav Tsar Glazkov, Ukrainian fighter. He's been around for quite some time. I've watched countless fights of him on NBC Sports. Kathy Duva, main event fighter, and right now you can see they're really pushing him along because now he has 2 wins and a draw that he shouldn't have. So right now I'm looking at it is that he should be 17-3. Right now he's 20-1 with 12 KOs. Malik Scott beating. The Malik Scott fight was somewhat similar to this fight with Steve Cunningham, to where Glazkov started coming on late. But one thing that's always been said about Glazkov, and we've seen it tonight, and he was in the best shape of his career. He usually a little softer on the belly, but we seen tonight is that there's no aggressiveness. There's no there's no fire under it. So when you see him get a win over a guy like Steve Cunningham, who's been paying his dues and been fighting these exciting fights over the last couple of years. His last 2 on NBC Sports against I forgot the guy's name, Vicenia. I covered the fight, and also against Amir Mansour, were basically fight of the year candidates. So looking at like what happened tonight, his first shot on HBO, and for them to do him like that, I'm thinking like, well, damn, I understand that when it came to the punches that meant something, the punches that we felt, the punches that the audience felt and the audience saw was the Glazkov punches. But my God, Steve Cunningham was just outworking and was more comfortable, and he won the fight. So if anything, it should have been a draw, but no way a win, especially at the margin. 2 cards, 116, 112. For Cunningham, it just was outrageous. So now the winner, Glazkov, is the IBF mandatory for Vladimir Klitschko. But let me run down this situation. You got Vladimir Klitschko, who's the current champion. Let's say he gets through Brian Jennings. Vladimir Klitschko wants Deontay Wilder next. He wants to unify all the belts. Remember, he has the WBA Super World, the IBF, WBO, IBO in the ring. Deontay Wilder has a WBC. But Vladimir Klitschko has to fight Tyson Fury next, for the WBO. So basically, the winner between Cunningham and Glazkov, which is Glazkov right now, is not going to be getting their IBF title shot until sometime at the earliest, early 2016, maybe February, March 2016. So it makes perfect sense for the IBF because these sanctioning bodies, I'm calling them on it, WBA, the IBF, and the WBO, and WBC been ordering mandatories like crazy. And this is a situation where it's like, okay, well, when it came to the early stoppage, situation of George Groves, and Cole Frotz, the IBF ordered a mandatory. When it comes to the WBO and the controversial cards with Paul Smith off the Abraham first fight, they worked out a deal. Not the WBO, but the fighters. So when it comes to this situation, both of these fighters promoted by Kathy Duva. Both of these, when it comes to the IBF #1 contender, they're not going to be getting a shot till later on anyway. And also, when it comes to the other heavyweights outside of those two, they're going to have a tough time. So a rematch makes perfect sense. They might as well just fight, and just have a rematch because they're not going to get their IBF title shot anytime soon. But Andre Berto versus Josesito Lopez, it was completely outrageous if you have not seen it. And the reason why I said it's outrageous is because after looking at it multiple times, it's just suspect because I understand when a fighter knocks a fighter down, they start to celebrate. But when I see that Josesito Lopez gets back up and he gets knocked down, what was it? I believe it was a double jab and then the right. He goes down on both of his gloves like this, right? Both his gloves on the canvas, one leg extended. But, he's not on his knees. He's on one knee, but one leg is extended. He's looking down like he's gathering himself. But as soon as he goes down, the referee just waves it off. Like no count, no anything. But then Berto turns around and he's just celebrating like he already knew he was going to win. And it just was a weird.
And then what's up with the camera, bro? Why did Ref didn't have the camera on this fight?
You talking about when the referee had the headband on or whatever?
Yeah, I noticed that.
So yeah, exactly. So PBC is supposed to have this new technology with the referees wearing these fucking headbands. They got the cameras on them and everything. But then with this fight, when we could have seen, I wanted to see, the slow motion replay. I wanted to see a slow motion replay of Josesito Lopez's face. You know how you can look in a fighter's face, just like Jean Pascal was talking about earlier. You can tell when a fighter's done. I wanted to see what the referee saw to know oh shit, yeah, Lopez was done. And it's just it's stuff like that. And then when I look at the fact that okay, all right, yes, Andre Berto had scored the 2 knockdowns, and Andre Berto usually when you score 2 knockdowns, there's a good chance you're going to win. And Josesito Lopez, we know he is that warrior spirit, but usually when he goes down once, there's a good chance he's going to go down again and be stopped. But Josesito Lopez was putting in some work. Hell, I'm going to honestly say, beating the shit out of Andre Berto as far as when it comes to he was beat. He was whooping it. He was whooping. Those body shots was crazy. So he came to fight and just to see, that we knew. Well, when I was watching the fight, I'm thinking to myself, this is the end of Andre Berto right here in front of my eyes. I was watching the fight. I'm like, this is it for Andre Berto. Andre Berto was done. If you don't know, you can actually watch the full fight on Spike TV. If you do not know, that's Spike TV. That's it. SpikeTV.com. They have it on the website.
Berto head movement was just non-existent. He wasn't catching punches.
There's nothing there.
I was like, why are you in the ring, man? Like I think he gonna get hurt real bad in there with the right person.
If you notice, he always has trouble with the same type of fighters. Pressure fighters, power punchers. Look, Soto Carras, Josesito Lopez, Luis Collazo, Robert Guerrero, who else? One more, Victor Ortiz. So he has problems with guys right there are going to be in his space because he tries to bang with him when he's supposed to be the boxer, the mover, and there's no head movement there. It's no head movement. It's worse, honestly. It's worse than Adrian Broner. At least with Adrian Broner, he going to the shoulder roll. At least Adrian Broner's got all this.
Hey, I wonder if Adrian Broner. I think Adrian Broner versus Berto is next.
Who?
I think Broner versus Berto is next, and I was really thinking to myself, Berto is gonna get killed by Broner. He got no
right there. See, that's a tough fight. That's a tough fight because see, here's
no, it's not. No.
Broner has the power, but yet Berto has the activity. See, you know, Broner sometimes struggles with a punch output. You know,
Berto didn't. I don't think he had activity. I think he just was getting beat up all night. He looked terrible.
yeah, he was getting beat up.
Yeah.
He definitely was getting, he definitely was getting beat up.
Let me
Because,
tell. Have you ever saw what's his cornerman name? Andre Ward's trainer. I can't think of the name right now.
Virgil Hunter.
Virgil Hunter. I have
Yeah.
never saw Virgil Hunter coach a person just to say, "Take it to him, take it to him."
Yeah.
Like he knew Berto has no
he did
skill.
it in the last round. He said, impose your will.
Yeah, he knew Berto had no skill. Why am I watching this fucking gay shit on HBO? What the fuck are they doing?
Yeah, it's late night, bro. That's what be popping on HBO.
What the fuck?
I know better. I know
What is
better.
that shit, man?
I'm trying to get away from it. That softcore porn star coming on.
Yeah, I tell you,
Anyway,
that's what I told you earlier, man. There were two guys in bed, saw the kids and hell no.
Yeah, that shit crazy.
I be learning my lesson after watching those fights. Because sometimes I be right there on the computer editing a video or something. Then I be like, what the fuck is this shit?
Oh,
You know,
I saw it. I said, hell no. That ain't
But Josesito Lopez is now in a situation where it's like, who do you complain to? You know, and with Andre Berto, you see you don't get, well, put it this way, with Heyman fighters in general, there don't be no rematches. So if it looks like he was in trouble, you move on to the next one. So with Andre Berto, I think like, well, what more can you do with him? You can't save him now. I don't think Andre Berto can be saved. I say, okay, well, listen, now your next fight is a big fight. You know, now your next fight is a big fight. So now you got to turn up. You know, you got to perform. And to be perfectly honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if they feed him to Thurman. And Thurman's going to destroy him. Thurman's going to take his fucking head off.
Yeah. I thought about that last night.
Oh my god! I thought about whoever he get in the ring with gonna kill him. I just was wondering, what are they gonna do to him? They gonna get him hurt.
They're going because you got to understand, right? With what the PBC is trying to do. Remember, this is Heyman's money. This is Heyman's money right now.
Hell yeah.
It's his money put in, and he wants people to invest. So if you look at last night, right? If you look at the PBC card, if Josesito Lopez would have defeated Andre Berto and Sean Porter had to drop out, technically that would have been a failure of an event. Also, something that was strange is that Spike TV executives, okay, put it this way. Kareem Mayfield was there. Kareem Mayfield was chosen, but then Spike TV executives intervened, paid Kareem Mayfield a certain amount of money for his trouble for flying out there or whatever the case may be, or, you know, like basically for the inconvenience, and went with the fighter Bonet. Now that makes me think, well, did Spike TV feel that, well, we can't afford for Sean Porter to take this dangerous fight against Kareem Mayfield, or you know, what is Spike TV's interest in Andre Berto? And that's when I think about, well, what's Al Heyman's plan with the PBC? So I'm thinking to myself, with all those fighters, right? For example, perfect example, will Sean Porter and Andre Berto, will they be PBC Spike TV exclusive? Will Danny Garcia, Lamont Peterson, Adrian Broner only fight on NBC cards?
Kenny Porter weighed in on it. And you got to take what he said with a grain of salt, because he in the corner and it's his son, right? Like he got things he protecting, he could be protecting. But he said the Bonet guy was the official fighter, and that if Bonet somehow didn't get a passport to get into the country, because he's from Ecuador or Quebec or something like that.
Ecuador.
So if he didn't get a passport, then the next fight was Kareem Mayfield. So
they still had Kareem Mayfield on standby. They had him on standby.
So they said pretty much, you know, Kareem Mayfield was never the right person, but the guy, if he couldn't get in, you would have saw Kareem Mayfield that night. And there was other people that saying that Spike had no dealings with it, like HBO or Showtime, and they didn't, you know, they wasn't saving a guy because they're not signed to them. It's just Al Heyman's money. So it was people weighing in on it, giving a little bit of a different perspective, but I don't think they're signed exclusively to them, and they shouldn't be, because Sean Porter could get, I mean, if he signed, just think about it. if Thurman and Sean Porter want to fight, you mean to tell me one guy signed a Spike and the other one
Well,
signed the
no,
ABC,
well,
and it can't
I
happen?
already know. Al Heyman's not letting his fighters sign anything. I'm talking
Right, right.
about as far as Al Heyman will verbal agreement the shit out you. So I don't see that scenario. But with all these 147-pound fighters, Robert Guerrero just took a loss. Andre Berto would have took a loss. If it was Sean Porter versus Kareem Mayfield, Sean Porter could have taken a loss. So, looking at, Josesito Lopez is taking a loss. John Molina just didn't, perform. Looking at what the PBC is and what it may be. Oh, by the way, a lot of people don't know that that Andre Berto versus Josesito Lopez fight was for the WBA 147-pound interim title. So you got Floyd Mayweather, WBA Super World at 147, Keith Thurman, WBA Regular World at 147. Now you have Andre Berto, WBA interim. So that's why I said with the WBA order and mandatories, right? You got now listen to this situation. This is why I think like Andre Berto versus Keith Thurman is getting close. You got the WBA who ordered Carl Froch, the WBA Regular World, to take on Andre Ward, who has the recognized WBA belt. You got the recognized champion Guillermo Rigondeaux, the WBA, just wants to fight anybody. He's calling up and saying, "Listen, I want my mandatory next." He got his mandatories ducking him. I'm not saying Scott Quick is ducking him, but it's rare to see a fighter chasing his mandatories to fight him. And I'm thinking to myself, well, will the WBA order Thurman or Mayweather to fight, or order Thurman to fight Berto? So it's all confusing, and there's so many different belts. Like, for example, this belt that Andre Berto won last night that wasn't recognized. Nobody, because Al Heyman doesn't want those organizations having a belt in his PBC. He has the same belt, Berto, that Chris Eubank Jr. defeated Dmitry Chudinov for. So it's all confusing, and right now, I'm just left stuck asking myself, well, is Al Heyman trying to make his own belt? Is he, is he after, making his own titles? Because you got the WBA champion and Keith Thurman not being recognized as champion. You got Danny Garcia being called the lineal champion. You got Peter Quillen. This has been advertised. Peter Quillen taking on title holder Andy Lee. So, and then when you think of PBC, like, doesn't it sound like a title? Then what you think about the premier boxing champion? Doesn't it sound like a belt? It's a belt.
I think it's a good idea because he's paying fighters more than other people are, and they're getting more exposure. So until other promoters get with networks and they can outdo him, the fighter's gonna be leaving. It seems like, as soon as they can get out them contracts, people are going to Al Heyman, and it's scary if you're not on his side. You know what I mean? It's sort of scary.
Also, but you do have fighters that don't want someone to have that much control over their career. I forgot who spoke on it. It was a boxer recently that said, Al Heyman take care of his fighters, but at the same time, he controls your career and also controls your PR with the fans. And that's true.
Was it a fighter or another person?
It was a fighter. If it was a fighter, I forgot who. I want to say Herrera. I don't think it was Herrera. I forgot who said it.
Matisse? He left?
No, it wasn't Matisse. Matisse said something along those lines too. But basically.
But you see where he fighting now. He pushed them all the way to the turning stone, like where no one wants to go. So I don't think
that's true. I ain't gonna lie. I'm thinking like, damn, why they got him all the way out the fuck in the turning stone, like all the way in fucking Verona, New York? They doing split venues, but still, for a bloodbath like that, it's gonna be bloodshed. But a fight like that we wouldn't get without Heyman. So I can understand, where the fighters that don't sign with Al Heyman come from. And also, a lot of people got to understand is that Al Heyman is branching out a little bit, but he's an American promoter. There's boxing promoters all throughout the world. You got the Sarlins, you got K2, you got Matchroom, you got you got Hennessy, you got Frank Warren. You got all those different Japanese promotion companies. Thailand got all kind of crazy boxing promotions too. So, you know, Al Heyman could try on an American scale,
Yeah.
take over boxing, and he can have his PBC titles. But realistically, he's just going to piss off fans more. Because because to me personally, it's kind of a smack in the face to be making, you know, like just new belts. And I can see if he was making new belts and he was open to working with other fighters, but just to be signing up all these fighters and having your own shit, it's kind of WWE-ish to me. You know, it's kind of pro wrestling like.
It's UFC-ish. It's UFC-ish. It's like the Boxino belt. It's sort of that way.
And I understand the sanctioning bodies though. The belts, they have too many belts, and they made that shit is their fault. You know, I understand that. You know, is that making all these belts is having fans pissed off and like, well, why not have another belt? Why can't Al Heyman have a belt? But at the same time, I'm still wondering what the overall goal is, because you know, me personally, I don't like the fact that there's too much control over who fights who, as far as Andre Berto versus. Remember, we used to have rematches after rematches, and I'm not talking about, you know, the way Top Rank does it because they have to. I'm talking about, you know, in the early 2000s and the 90s, you know, where you would have somebody fighting somebody again within 2-3 months. So whereas with Heyman, we're not getting that. It's like, okay, you struggled in that fight, now we're going to take you back down a notch, work you back up, and then put you against somebody maybe like that again later on.
Which fight you want to see again? Like Berto Lopez? You want to see that again?
I wanted to see Berto Lopez again. I wanted to see Danny Garcia versus Lucas Matisse again. Which else? Another one? Marcos Maidana versus Adrian Broner. Victor Ortiz versus Andre Berto. It's a couple more, but he hasn't been known to give us rematches on tough fights, you know, or seems as though fighters that he may care for. Like, for example, look at Gary Russell Jr. I feel Gary Russell Jr. is being sacrificed, you know, to Johnny Gonzalez. But, you know, maybe I look at it like, well, somebody in Al Heyman's stable has got to get another 126-pound belt. Because who has a 126-pound belt in Al Heyman's stable? And then I think about it.
I ain't gonna call it I won't call it a sacrifice, but I want to say I like that fight. I like that he got back into action.
Well, remember,
everybody got to fight somebody. You know, you can't win them. See, this is what we don't understand as fans. Like, a lot of people bash certain people for having O's, and then when you see a guy lose, you don't want to see him no more. So therefore, that guy thinks like, nobody want to see me. They take the Sean Porter route and they fight a guy who, you know, who been on network, but people really don't know him, and the guy drops out the fight, and then you go even worse. Like, Sean Porter should be fighting like a Saddam Ali or somebody right now. You know, he should have been really back in the competition.
Yeah, you should have.
That's too much for me.
And I don't know about y'all, man, but he didn't do too well last night either, bro.
Oh no, yeah. That Bonita guy came to fight. He was cracking him.
Yeah, I don't know if he still got that flashback from what's the Kell Brooks.
He tore his knee up or something.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons why he got knocked out.
Dude, I swear I thought Prashant was gonna blow that kid out of the water, bro. When I saw last night, I said, hell no, this motherfucker came to fight. He said, you ain't taking me out like this, Pedro. Hell.
Yeah, it was
Prashant didn't look too good too, bro.
And another thing, yeah, with the Sean Porter Kell Brook thing. Now, even though Kell Brook won the fight, in my opinion, cleanly, you know, it's like, why not go after your belt again? Like, you know, Al Heyman fighters, they don't go after rematches. You know, they go on like rebuilding paths, and that's the way he takes care of his fighters. He got his fighters fighting and making money, and then, you know, if you lose, he builds you back up again to the point where people think, okay, well, now they're good. They really gonna win this time. Like, for example, Adrian Broner's next fight in Cincinnati, it's gonna be on ABC. Do you think he's gonna put him up against someone? What, maybe Humberto Soto, maybe? You know, but I don't know. For some reason, I don't see him putting him up against someone that could really hurt Broner. I just don't see it.
What's this Amir Khan talk? What's the Amir Khan talk? What's going on there?
It's not. Well, do you think that Amir Khan will fight in Cincinnati?
With Broner?
You gotta fight somewhere. You gotta. He went to DC. You know he ain't.
I'm talking about at this stage right now. And also, will Broner be moving back to 147?
That's right. That's what was my next question. Exactly.
You know, because he's ranked because now he's ranked for a title shot by the WBC. You know, so I'm thinking, you know, it's so many different things. For one, will Khan go to Cincinnati? I understand he went to DC, but then I asked, well, will Broner move up to 147, and after he's did this work at 140 to get in the title shot, you know, contention, and he's been talking about a title shot at 140. Moving up to 147 will pretty much mess that up. So, you know,
remember what we just said. Remember what we just said. Al Heyman don't give a shit about those belts.
They don't give a you're right. They don't give a shit about those belts. You know, but then one thing to credit the fight possibly happened is that we know Adrian Broner is having trouble having, you know, it's bad for him, you know, to be cutting that weight like that in between fights, going down to 140.
Good point. Good point.
You know, so fighting at 147, even though his power may not be there, it may be best for him health-wise to stay there because, you know, the older you get, cutting that weight like that, you know, 40 pounds in between fights, that's a lot of fucking weight to be cutting. And also, you know, only cutting it within, he lost that weight within like 4 weeks or some shit like that. You know, he was in a sauna for 3 days, they were saying, leading up to the fight, trying to get the rest of the weight off. You know,
he's in bad shape. He's in bad shape.
You know, so you mean it's you shouldn't be going through that, you know, as being as young as he is. You know,
you won't talk about bad shape. Talk about Chris Areola. Oh my God. Damn.
He needs to do something. He needs to do something with himself. You know,
did he win that fight? Did he win that fight?
No, yeah, he won the fight, in my opinion, off that last round and that knockdown.
Bro, yeah.
That last round, that knockdown is the reason why he won the fight, in my opinion. But you know, yeah, you know, and the thing is, he keeps getting time, airtime, and now they're talking about him versus Deontay Wilder, and I see that, you know, that's an Al Haymanish fight. I see it happening. You know, and it's really a shame. And the thing is, you don't know what Chris Arreola is going to show up. He's an exciting fighter. He is a good fighter. He's skilled, but at the same time, it's just like, okay, all right, one fight you say, you know, you're going to be in the best shape of your life. You're going to start taking care of yourself. And then the next fight, you say, well, you know, I'm eating a lot of pizza.
Yeah.
You know, and I was partying, you know.
That's cool. Hey, he went to CC's buffet, bro. He went for it up before he went out to that boxing match.
He probably rehydrated. Yo.
I was thinking about who could he fight. Now I came up with a perfect opponent last night, and I'm losing it. I just don't get why these fighters lose a fight and say to myself, I gotta drop all the way back down to the ranks. If you don't care about losses, fans aren't gonna care about losses.
Yeah.
But they making it important, so it's crazy to me, man. I hate the way they do that.
Well, I mean, look who started it. You know, like Al Heyman's got these zeros being very important in this era of boxing. But I'm only gonna be here for about another 20 minutes or so. It's been a fucked up week, man, with all these videos. So Mayweather-Pacquiao was happening. The details, $89.95 for pay-per-view, standard definition. They don't want to tell you. They're not going to tell you you're going to be paying $100. So they're going to say, you know, pay-per-view is going to be at $90, but they're not saying $90 HD. That's how they trick people. Also, them telling you, you know, well, we're still figuring out ticket sales. Listen. Those ticket sales been sold. You just don't know it yet. They brought them up and sold them to secondary markets. You know, that's what that means. That's why you're hearing average ticket price $4,500. You know, it's a marketing tactic. They're conditioning you to know, like, the tickets are going to be expensive as shit. You know, Bob Bam saying his seat costs $200,000, you know, so the ticket thing, you know, just chalk that up. If you get a ticket, you know, good luck, God bless, and you know, you must be going for the experience, you know. What else? We don't know what's going on with the HBO or the All Access situation. We do know Floyd Mayweather, April the 18th, is having something, you know, to run with the Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. fight. There's no face-off. There's no stare. I mean, there's no face-off meaning with Max Kellerman. And basically, there's going to be, like, no events other than one episode of HBO 24/7, one episode of All Access, you know, various different interviews and specials throughout various different networks. But just next is the final press conference to weigh in the fight. You know, so simple as that. I'm working on, you know, getting there now.
I didn't like the press conference at all, bro. It was too plain, too simple. Man, you know,
It
we
was
been waiting for this fight so long, bro. I wanted to hear everybody talk shit up in there.
it was PBC. It
Too
was
many,
PBC.
Yeah,
too
bro.
many, too many. There was too many egos for things to really, for fans to get what we wanted. You know, because what it is they made it so one side, you know, and that's how fucked up business is. They made it so one side did not look weak to the other. They made it so that everything was completely equal. You know, everything was completely equal. You know, so, you know, they wanted to make sure the HBO commentator, the HBO announcer dude, I forgot his name, got the same amount of time as the Showtime announcer dude. You know, they wanted to make sure that there was no HBO or Showtime logos, and if you watch the stuff live, there was no HBO or Showtime logos or anything anywhere. You know, Showtime stuff has the stuff up now, but it just was a regular, like, bland-ass broadcast. You know, if you notice, they're not saying, you know, like Showtime pay-per-view. They're saying on pay-per-view because it's a Showtime. Basically, what it is, it's one pay-per-view, you know, and they're going to be splitting the profits of the pay-per-view. So people say, well, where's HBO's going to be showing theirs and where's Showtime? It's one pay-per-view. It's one pay-per-view.
Look at it like this. We always said if this fight ever happens, both it's different. It's gonna bring a lot of things together, and we might get fights we never thought we'd get through the Cold War. I mean, we said that so many times on this show. You said it. Everybody said it.
Well, now that this fight, yeah, because that fight had to end. I mean, that fight had to happen for the doors to open up. And here's one thing else I feel. I feel that if Manny Pacquiao defeats Floyd Mayweather, that would be the full complete end of the Cold War, in my opinion, because there would be no leverage on Al Heyman's side.
You know what I think, man? You know what I've been thinking at first? I was leaning more to the floor at the beginning. But then I started seeing Manny, and then I started saying, no, I think Manny might take this. But then I started thinking about it. You know what? I'm willing to bet that it's going to be a freaking draw just for the reason for Floyd to keep that fucking old. You know
and you know what? If that fight's a draw, put it this way, any controversy in that fight, I'm going to be pissed. You know why? Because it's going to be, well, this person they need to fight again, and you know, he's the duck for this, and he's broke because it's going to all start over. It's not like if this fight ends in any type of controversy that leaves it open for a rematch, you know,
they don't have a
be pissed. This is what I know, but what I'm saying, and that's the problem. That's why it would never end. That's why this whole Pac-Tard and Flomo thing would never end. The only way this can end is if Floyd Mayweather schools the shit out of Pacquiao or Pacquiao knocks Mayweather out. That's it. You know, it can't be one of those fights, those Timothy Bradley Pacquiao 1 fights. It can't be like Marcos Maidana versus Mayweather the first fight.
No, I don't think.
You know, because what happened is we're going to be like, oh well, people are going to say he's scared, he won't fight him again. Oh well, he won't fight because of this, and all this is going to be going on for eternity. Like, do you know? Like, you know, all this can be over. You know, but
bro, even if you think about it, even if Floyd wins, bro, then they're gonna give him the credit anyways. They're gonna say that he waited that long for him to get older and blah 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 blah.
But at the same time, if he wins convincingly, there would be no reason for him to fight Pacquiao again. Like, for example, what reason
for him fighting anyone again? Who would he fight next? Like, everyone says he's gonna retire next.
Honestly, he should fight Keith Thurman and then bounce. He should fight Keith Thurman, or you know, if Cotto still has that belt, not GGG, but if Cotto still has that belt, you know, I would accept him fighting Cotto at 155 next. I would accept it.
Why Keith Thurman? I would go Kell Brook and take all the titles.
You know what? You know what? Oh yeah, well yeah, Kell Brook makes perfect sense. Yeah, well Kell Brook, but fans want to see Thurman, but go for Kell Brook. If he wins, yeah, go for Kell Brook. Get those belts and then 49-0, sail off into the sunset. You know, honestly, if I was him, I'd be like, fuck that 50-0. You risk it because see, also, if you don't remember, I talked about it earlier in the video. The WBC is already auctioning his belts off. They're having a 147-pound tournament. You know, where the winner is going to have to be mandatory for Floyd. So you know, like after Pacquiao, Floyd is not going to be fighting, you know, like big high-profile fights anymore, unless, you know, maybe put it this way. It would be perfect sense for either guy to go after Kell Brook next. And that's why Kell Brook, whoever he fights, this year, we know he's fighting Jojo Dan, but then after that, he needs, him and Amir Khan need to fight. I would love to see Floyd Mayweather or Amir Khan or Manny Pacquiao versus Amir Khan, for the unification, for undisputed, for all the titles. I would love to see it.
He need to get JoJo Dan out of that quick. He don't need to play around. He need to get him out of there quick.
Yeah, and I'm glad they did that. They did that smart. They're fighting their mandatory now, so none of that mandatory bullshit don't come up later on. And it's because when you're the IBF champion, you will fight your mandatory. You have no choice. You will fight your mandatory, or they will strip the shit out of you, and they will strip you quickly. And that's across all divisions. And that's probably one of the reasons why Floyd don't chase IBF titles, because they don't care who you are. They will strip you. And it's a shame because sometimes they don't even be fair. Like, you may have 2 other belts that you done fought 2 other mandatories for, and they'll still strip you. They'll be like, no, we don't care about that. We waited. Now you got to fight him then.
So how do you think this fight's going to plan out? You think Floyd's just going to dominate Manny all the way?
Well, I think Manny Pacquiao's going to outwork him, maybe stop him. I'm saying it right here. I've been saying it for years, but now this is a clean, sober man saying that, listen, Floyd, listen, I don't see it. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, all right, we know he's not going to use the shoulder roll. We know he's going to use the shoulder roll only, sparingly. But at the same time, what is he going to do? He's going to be walking Pacquiao down, and Pacquiao not throwing punches. Let's not forget, man, Pacquiao's been knocked out. He's been defeated in the worst possible way you can ever be defeated.
Yeah, I know.
He's got knocked out. So therefore, it's like, why not get knocked out by Floyd? Why not go aggressiveness on Floyd? Why not just go? If I was Pacquiao, I'd go crazy in there. I'd be throwing everything.
I mean, I could see it. I could see it doing it. I think he's just waiting for this fight for the longest.
You already been knocked out. You've been put to sleep.
I think Floyd got too many straight punches, and he's going to be hitting the guy who's actually a welterweight. And Pacquiao's going to feel power that they said, hey, this guy's not supposed to have this kind of power. And I think you're going to see a higher work rate's in place too, man. I think Floyd got too many goods for Manny Pacquiao.
As I said, Pretty Boy Floyd beats any Manny Pacquiao. Money May, not so much.
I don't know about that one.
I don't know about Money May.
I don't know about that. I'm telling you, this Money May is a complete fighter as well. He is. I don't know. I think he still just got all too much talent, man. Way too much.
The only thing I don't agree with what people saying, a lot of people saying that he's gonna sweep all over Manny. I don't think either fight's gonna sweep either. I think it's gonna be.
But he's making 100.
Let's say this.
It's gonna be a real good fight. And
let's say this. When you tell Floyd to raise his game, when you put him in there with a real threat like Canelo, and Manny's real threat is Juan Marquez. Floyd didn't lose a round. When you tell him to up his level, he ups his level.
Yeah, but see, Canelo was a different fight.
Canelo was not a threat. Canelo was never a threat. Let's be honest. Canelo was.
Don't play that. Canelo is a threat.
It was a hype job. No one thought he was gonna win that fight.
What is wrong with you, man? What is wrong? I thought Canelo was going to win the fight.
That Judah was a bigger threat than Canelo was.
T-Street, hold on. T-Street, you picked Canelo, right?
No, I don't remember. No, I remember leading into it. I was saying Floyd was scared, but no, I remember I was money team at that time. I didn't pick Canelo.
I picked Canelo. I thought Canelo is not a bad fighter. Don't give me that, man. Don't take away credit.
You talking about Mr. 7-round fight? You been talking Mr. 7-rounder? He fought 7 rounds and always gets tired. That's why Floyd was able to walk him.
Okay. So what you gonna say? What you gonna say if he beats Pac? Don't give me that. You gonna come and say nobody knew Pac? Don't do that shit, man.
If he beats Pacquiao. If he beats Pacquiao, he beats Pacquiao. That's it. He was the best fighter of the decade. That's it.
Okay. All right. This is the point right here. This is the point right here. Everyone told Floyd Mayweather he was scared of this fight. Everyone, regardless if you feel he was a threat or not, they told him he was scared.
I thought Floyd was gonna win. I was going for Floyd.
Okay, all right. You one person.
True. That's true.
The consensus was Floyd ain't taking his fight. He's scared. He's a bitch. And what'd he do?
What'd
he do? He upped his level. And when you tell a guy up his level, this man was perfect. We needed Manny to up his level, and he went to sleep. So
let's be honest though. Let's be honest. Did you really think in your heart, as a true boxing fan, Canelo stood a chance?
I said Canelo was going to win the fight.
Let's be honest. Come on,
I said Canelo would win the fight.
Come on, you thought Canelo was gonna win after Trout after the 7th round. Made the fight
Canelo
very
showed
easy.
some slick ass head movements. Canelo slow.
During that one round, he was sharp.
He was slick as fuck,
round.
man.
You're like
Y'all
45
crazy.
seconds.
Don't tell me Trout's not a good fighter. Don't tell me he wasn't a legit
No,
fighter.
I'm not saying that. I didn't say that. I mean, Laura beat his ass, but I. But
Yeah,
no,
that's after Canelo put him down.
Laura's not no Mayweather. Mayweather. Listen, when Mayweather beat Laura, when Mayweather beat Canelo, Mayweather used various different punches. Mayweather used, but he entertained. He knew that Canelo was too slow for him. So what did he do? He engaged and then got out of there.
Yep.
You know, to keep to whereas in Laura would have once again jab left hand, and then he get on his bike.
Yep.
Either way,
I'll get there.
Gonna win that fight.
Throw three
Now,
jab,
he is
jab,
right.
left
He
hand
is right.
on his bike.
People did think Canelo was gonna win. The boxing odds showed it that they thought Canelo stood a chance. I personally never thought he stood a chance.
Let's
But
talk to Leonard.
you're
Let's
right,
talk to Leonard. Let's talk to Leonard right here. Leonard, do you remember me telling you that Marcos Maidana was going to drop Floyd Mayweather in the first fight?
No.
You don't remember? Y'all don't remember me getting?
He probably said that. He probably
Nobody. And y'all don't remember me saying he can't play with Marcos Maidana on the ropes. I have given people.
I remember telling people that bullshit. I remember telling people that shit. People were saying, "You bullshit. You're gonna beat him." I said, "Listen,
But he fought
Maidana's
before
not
time.
the type of dude that you want to be. You don't want to stay in the front of Marcos Maidana because after a while, if he realizes he can't hit you cleanly, he gonna punch you in the dick."
I'm telling you, I have given people chances, but I gave them chances, but I think Floyd about to come out perfect. Floyd about to come out on some perfect.
You can't compare the Canelo Mayweather fight to Manuel Marquez.
I'm just telling you I'm just giving you an understanding that I have picked against him, and I really thought people had chances against him. I don't think Pacquiao has that chance. I really do not see it. I think Canelo. I think Mayweather too complete, bro. Way too complete.
I told everybody I got Pacquiao 115, 113, but a Mayweather win, I would not be surprised.
Like, is Floyd gonna throw more punches than him or
clean? I think clean.
I understand that. Okay, but even if it is clean punches, it may be some shit like 140 of like 390 or 400 and something punches, 420 punches. Let's say if it's 140 of 390 punches Floyd throws, some old shit like that, may landed throws. So and that's pretty high, some old shit like that. But then you're gonna have Pacquiao landing some shit like 240 punches of like 900.
Manny, the truth, the consistency, when Manny goes against a counterpuncher, he does not punch that much. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Very true.
Look at round 8, I think, at Timothy Bradley. Timothy Bradley was. I have never seen nobody pot shot and move Manny Pacquiao. Timothy Bradley was the first opponent to ever do it, and Manny didn't know what the hell was going on in that round.
Which fight are you talking about?
Huh?
Which fight are you talking about, T?
The second fight. Bradley Pac-Man. And I think Floyd can do that. He can fight in the pocket with him. I think it's just Floyd does too much good for him, and people keep saying, "Hey, Marquez is willing to sit in there and get hit." That's why. No, it's that Marquez.
It took Marquez 8 years to get that one punch.
Marquez doesn't have the ability to get out of there when he gets.
It took him 8 years.
I'm not saying he's gonna knock him out. T-Street, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying people are comparing the counterpunching ability, saying, "Hey, Marquez sits in there and takes it." No, Marquez sits in there because he can't get out of there. Floyd can give and get out of there.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
How many rounds does it take Floyd to be able to adjust to Manny? Because Floyd gives up rounds to nobody fighters. He does give them up. So I think he gives up 6 rounds to Pacquiao. You would think they're going to just let him. People that don't like Mayweather is going to give him the win if he lays off 6 rounds.
Okay.
Manny.
Who are you saying he gave?
A lot closer lately.
Who are you saying he gave the rounds to?
Maidana, Zab Judah.
All right.
Zab Judah, Zab. Gave up 4 rounds to Zab. He gave up maybe
3 rounds to Zab. He gave up 3 rounds to Zab. 3 rounds.
It was 4 rounds. 4 rounds.
No, it's 3.
I got 4 rounds.
It was 3.
I think Mayweather still won the fight, and I don't think it was a knockdown.
Yeah, it was a knockdown. He got knocked down on the little right hook.
But yeah, but they tangle feet though. They tangle feet.
His glove touched, but it was a light
Let's
It
say,
wasn't a touch, bro.
let's say this,
Split.
but you can't compare Zab Judah with Manny. That's two different styles. I don't care how they fight.
You can't compare
It's
Manny
just
to
two
nobody
different-
that he fought.
Who is that?
You can't compare Manny to nobody that he fought. That's the problem. That's the issue.
Handle Sab- no one has the advantage here. Only advantage in the fight is Pacquiao got a higher output. That's the only advantage.
He also
That's all
has the advantage of fighting more faster opponents lately. That's true. I mean, he ain't fighting the fastest Mayweather. No one's fast as Mayweather, period.
Who's
But
fast? Tim Bradley?
He is
Tim
fast.
Bradley's faster than Maidana is. Tim Bradley's faster than Canelo is. Tim Bradley's faster than all
I
Guerrero
don't
is.
know. Canelo got some hand speed, son. He don't got the
stop
foot
lying.
speed.
No, overall speed. Overall speed. Nobody. I mean, Floyd hasn't fought no one as fast as Manny in probably since Zab Judah.
No. I'm comparing hand speed. Y'all talking foot speed. Y'all right. I mean, but
I'm talking overall hand.
Well, both, yeah, hand and free speed.
I'm sorry, man. I don't see it. I mean, I just don't see it. I think Floyd too complete.
No, I think it's gonna be a competitive fight, dude. I'm telling you, he's not gonna blow him out.
No.
But did you guys talk about
He
how
can work
whack
for that
the press
fight.
conference was?
I can say that right now.
Hold on, though.
It was dry. In fact, what I'm going to do is, since I got a little bit of
What,
time,
you about to put it on?
a little piece of the press conference.
Yeah, I did not like that at all. I want to
I
Floyd
told
Sr. to
somebody a
speak,
long
man.
time ago. He's gonna make Manny look like Marquez, and they clown me. When he knocks him down, it makes him look like Marquez.
Knocks him down. Come on now, you knocks him down. How you gonna do that?
Bro, hold on.
I'm sorry.
Marcos Maidana is 165 pounds, right?
I mean, weight don't matter because
Hold on,
Mayweather
stop,
is bigger than.
stop.
Yeah,
That
weight
don't
doesn't matter.
matter.
It doesn't matter.
Weight doesn't matter?
It does not matter.
But why
Does
is
not
weight?
matter.
How does weight not matter if Pacquiao can't
Because
drop?
they still got to both get drained down before the fight. So, as long as I'm concerned, the weight does not matter. If
Look,
anything,
so why
being
didn't
the natural
Pacquiao
weight is
drop
better.
Margarito? Why didn't Pacquiao drop Margarito if weight doesn't matter? That
Whoa,
does matter,
I'm talking
bro.
about people going in on the same weight class and deny the fight. I'm talking about you fight somebody at 154 and it's the same at 147. I'm not saying that. But if they both got to make 147, then weight doesn't matter to me.
Listen,
That
hold on. What
Mayweather
I'm
is a
saying,
big guy. If you really
okay,
think about it.
did you not see Mayweather almost knock Maidana down with an uppercut? Did you not see that?
I didn't see that part. I have to rewind. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I don't remember it. I got bad. I didn't remember it.
He went stumbling back about 2 or 3 steps. He looked like he was gonna go down. Marcos Maidana's a big dude, man. I'm telling you, Mayweather fighting smaller fighters have put them down. I don't know. I'm not questioning his power. I think the dude's going to do some real damage, and
I
he's
don't
going to
think
get a
these
lot of
people are
respect.
very big. And here's what I say, because think about Mayweather. Look how buff he is and how low his body fat is. If his body fat was as big as Maidana coming in the fight, that dude would be a lot bigger than 147. He got a low body fat. Floyd is a big dude. You measure how low his body fat with all that muscle? He ain't tight.
It doesn't matter. He's still smaller than those guys, man. He's still smaller than them.
Muscle better than fat, man. If he was as fat as they, he'd be way more than they would.
But you know what they say? They say the fat helps you absorb the shot too. You ever heard that?
I don't know if it's maybe to the body, maybe, but I don't know about to the jaw.
I
don't know, but I don't know. You could be right. You could be 100% right. I could be 100% wrong.
I think he's gonna do a lot of work here. I think it's gonna be a lot of work.
Either way, I'm pumped up for it. I don't even know if I care who wins anymore. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I even care. I don't like Floyd personally.
I don't either.
But I mean, if he wins, he wins. I'm gonna give the man props no matter what. You get in the ring and you win a fight, I watch the fight. I'm not a boxer. You go in there and you win, you deserve every props you deserve.
Exactly.
And the truth of the matter is, he was throwing more. People talking about his output. I thought he threw a lot more combinations with Maidana.
My thing is, though, how do y'all think Pacquiao gonna give Mayweather a problem like that, and he couldn't even give Tim Bradley a problem like that?
You said, why do you think we didn't get Tim Bradley? Which Tim Bradley we talking about, 1 or 2? Because I don't. It's hard because once you figure out Manny the first time, you do a lot better against him the second time. I'm not gonna lie about that. Make Marquez prove that.
Look, I believe the second fight with Pacquiao, 6th and 7th, without Bradley laying on the ropes for no apparent reason, Bradley wins the fight, in my opinion.
Wins the fight. I mean, hey, everyone's got their opinion when it comes to rounds.
What was your score?
116, 112. 116,
I had it 7-5. I had it 7-5.
Oh my God, no! See, now you're talking crazy. So now we're talking about Timothy, but you know.
I said 116, 112. I mean, if he says 7-5, what is that?
I can't wait till May the 3rd. to come. So therefore, because when I'm hearing this stuff about Timothy Bradley won the first fight and all this,
No,
No,
no one said that. No one said that. No one
that.
said that.
Sounds
He
very
got his
Satan.
ass kicked.
Yeah,
just
he didn't say that.
I expect him to knock out Mayweather. He didn't knock out no fucking Tim Bradley. He didn't even beat Tim Bradley up that bad.
The second fight?
Well, we
I
know
thought he got in
Bradley
there.
will fight till he concussed. We know Bradley will fight until concussion. I don't know, man. I see. You know what I see? I see. I see Floyd taking a mean ass left, yo. I see him taking a mean ass signature left.
You just told what's Bradley's problem. He'll fight to a concussion. He'll fight with too much heart and abandon the skill that was winning him the fight.
But Bradley, I don't think had the skill set to beat Manny Pacquiao.
He was doing it, son.
No, man. Because after the fifth round, he
have-
couldn't keep up. To me, in my opinion, like Manny just kept getting to him, or
Basically,
it's hard to outbox Manny like people think you can do. It's not really good hard. I mean,
Hell, he
it's
sent that
not
fool
as
in the
easy to
wheelchair,
outbox
right?
Manny like people think it is.
What you say, Golovkin?
No, I said
What about
he sent that
Golovkin?
fool. No, I said he sent that fool in a wheelchair. Bradley, he ended up.
No, we talking about the second fight. We talking about
That's
the second
'cause
fight.
Bradley
We
has the
not
most
talking about no
terrible
come
footwork
up from 140,
in the
jump in the ring with Manny in front of the lights. We talking about the second fight only here. That was a dumb fight. Bradley, I just didn't think Bradley should never been that first fight. That was just too much for him.
I think he deserved it. I think he deserved the fight.
Second fight, Bradley ain't been the same. He went to depression, got all fat, come back, get a draw against Diego Chavez.
Yeah.
You
Ortiz is
see
not a good
Marquez.
trainer,
Marquez literally is like, I'm not going through that no more. I'm not putting my body through that.
Bradley won that fight. Come on, T Street. Bradley won that fight easy, man. Julie Letterman.
Which fight you talking about? Which fight you talking about? T?
Diego Chavez.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see that yet. I didn't want to watch it.
He won the fight, but when almost like Mauricio Herrera, like when you're not knocking people out, you're leaving this up to the judges. Like, for example, I knew that Timothy Bradley could never beat Pacquiao because he don't have a punch to stop Pacquiao in his tracks. He don't have something that to get Pacquiao thinking. To whereas in Marquez, a Pacquiao with Marquez versus Pacquiao in the fifth fight, I think Pacquiao gonna be scared to death. I think Pacquiao gonna be bitching and probably won't fight the same fight.
Jean Pascal about to go through the ropes again.
Pascal, man, and I don't even know where Pascal goes from here. But see, I'm going to be getting up out of here. Like it's been a long couple of weeks. March 28th, we got JoJo Dan, Cal Brook. And what else? It's another fight on that day. It's another fight. Oh!
Russell
Jr. versus Dominic Gonzalez. Then we got Venice Martirosyan versus Mel Charlo.
That's going to be on HBO, right?
Showtime.
Oh, Showtime. Hey, I thought didn't Venice leave Goosen?
Yep.
Right?
Who left Goosen?
Yeah.
They said he did, but I saw an interview where he said he was coming to support his campmate. When Goosen trains the Molina, right?
Yeah.
So when they interviewed Monterogin, he said, "Hey, I'm here for Broner and Molina because that's my campmate. So I'm not sure if he left him or not."
Yeah, that is true. And he's been doing good with Joe Goosen. I think he should stay with him. I think he should stay with him. But I'm going to see you guys on the 28th, man. I'm tired of shit. It's been a long week. T Street Controversy Live.
Who's staying